Người đã nói yêu mình em thôi, mà sao hôm nay lời hứa đã vụt bay. Tay trong tay ai, môi hôn bên ai, phải chăng anh đã không còn yêu.
My name is Okoreeh. I'm been here for a while, but it's been since 1979. Yeah. Right now I'm working for the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, and this is my home. I have a wife and 2 children.
Great.
Yeah. That's about me.
Thanks for inviting us in.
Hi, so the first question is, what was your experience as a refugee coming over to this country?
Yeah, it's quite it's a big experience, I can say. Back in 1975, when the South Vietnamese government started falling, so at that time, a lot of Vietnamese want to get out of the country because the communists was coming.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I experienced at that time, and because of that, we escaped on a boat, and that is the time that people called us the boat people. So we escaped and get into an island in Indonesia. Yeah, it's a small island, and the people there were great. They helped us, and they gave us everything we need to stay on that island. And from there on, the United Nations and helped us to settle down in the United States, and that's how I get in here.
So when you did get here, what was already in place for you? Was this community already starting to be populated by more Vietnamese refugees?
Actually, that is the first wave of the Vietnamese refugee. So when we got here, actually, there's no community at that time. Yeah, so people start gathering around the area after a while. I would say about 5 to 10 years later, because one of the great thing about California is the climate is warm, and that's how the Vietnamese they start moving into California from there. And because of that, the population increased, and it become a community now. It's a big community now.
So we are here at Foot Up Top, which is located in Saigon Street. In English, this translates into Asian Mall Garden. As you can see here, this mall is very crowded and very popular. In front, you can see 3 marble statues of Vietnamese gods, which represent good fortune. Now let's take a look inside.
All kinds of places to eat. There's also the events as well too, some plays that people have. See the influences of religion. There's also some Catholic influences too. As evidence here, you saw a lot of jewelry stores, and
jewelry businesses in the U.S. actually, and that's pretty unique for this area.
We're here at La Quinta High School, home of the Aztecs, and we're gonna get a little information about La Quinta right now.
So here in La Quinta at La Quinta High School, we see that there's a big history behind this school, and as high school being part of Little Saigon, it mirrors the community in various ways. And at first, this school was predominantly white for white Americans, but over time we see that there's a change in the demographics, and today it's predominantly Vietnamese and Asian as well too, and eventually pushed down the white American percentage to barely 1% in the school. Right, so here we are at a Buddhist temple, and in the Vietnamese language, Duong is a Vietnamese word for temple. And my parents have been going here for quite a while, about 10 years now, and I'm 21 now, so it kind of shows how long they've been going through there. So now we'll take you to a Buddhist shrine and show you how it looks like. Unfortunately, though, we can't actually interview a monk because right now people are praying inside, so we just want to keep things relatively quiet without disturbance. So I'm sure many of you guys have seen the image of Buddha, or have at least know some kind of an image of how he looks like. But here is a Vietnamese depiction of Buddha, and it's pretty unique too because it's done in a very Vietnamese style manner, and it's something that you won't see in any other Buddhist countries as well too, which makes it strictly unique for our people.
So a big part of immigration and immigrant communities assimilating is their ability to preserve their culture and absorb some of the host country's culture.
In McGarvin Park, we clearly see a good example of this. Around us, we have various Boy Scout routes, and normally when we think about Boy Scouts, it is a strictly American thing. But as the refugees came over to this town, many of them decided that Boy Scouts was a good way to teach their kids not only American values, but teach them the Vietnamese culture along with it as well. So over time, it's mixed into a strictly Vietnamese identity type situation in this county. When we think about Boy Scouts, most people would think of Vietnamese people in the Boy Scouts, and in there they teach not just American culture and sports and everything. They teach about Vietnamese food. They teach about the history. They teach how to speak the language, and as you can see, it's pretty good. Everybody feels like a community, and everyone's interacting. It's something really unique for this.
After the fall of Vietnam, the South Vietnam from 1975, right? And most of the people come in here, and we start from the small group, every different city, different country. But in the 1983, we had a meeting with all the Vietnamese scouts in the world at the Costa Mesa, and we create the group to centralize everybody in Vietnamese to make the scout at the US and all around the world. And from that, I think the Vietnamese scout very grown up from that time.
So what does the Boy Scout mean for the community here?
The Boy Scout community that make the Vietnamese come together, and from beginning that we have created the group, all the Vietnamese, they can talk about the culture, talking about the language, the same language, and by the time we growing up, and we help to immerse with the culture of the U.S.
Food in Little Saigon is a major element in the community. Markets like Saigon City provide the people in the community with a taste of home and brings the flavors of Vietnam to Orange County. Here are some pictures of foods that we found interesting while exploring Saigon City.
Hey Javier, oh shit, it's chicken feet. And what is that long thing, by the way?
It looks like... Is it an eel?
It's an eel, right?
I think it is an eel, or at least I hope it is.
Here we are at Pho 54.
Nụ cười ai đó có thể xây trái tim mềm yếu, là em bao trong nem nồng và yêu rất nhiều. Em đã từng chờ đợi ai đó bên cạnh em và hứa những câu chân thành. Anh không hề bỏ rơi, luôn bên em mọi nơi, những lúc nào tình cũng mãi. Dù giận nhau nhưng năm lần giấc mơ, vì một phút xa nhau là quá lâu. Rồi đêm qua anh mơ mình có nhau, mà trời trong tim em là biết và một em nếu không phải là anh thì em sẽ không thể cười suốt như bây giờ. Và em biết giờ này đôi lúc anh buồn vì em lỡ lời. Đó không phải là em đâu người ta tốn thờ. Dù em cứ ngày nào đó anh giận em nước mắt lại rồi. Em đã từng chờ đợi ai đó bên cạnh em và hứa những câu chân thành. Anh không hề bỏ rơi, luôn bên em mọi nơi, những lúc nào tình cũng mãi. Dù giận nhau nhưng năm lần giấc mơ, vì một phút xa nhau là quá lâu. Rồi đêm qua anh mơ mình có nhau, mà trời trong tim em lại biết Chẳng ngày quá xa vời, ngày thân thức trong đời, trao cho nhau những lời hẹn ước. Từ vào vai anh là chẳng còn chỉ là sợ, bên nhau sao miền vẫn nhớ nhau. Em đã từng chờ đợi ai đó bên cạnh em và hứa những câu chân thành. Anh không hề bỏ rơi, luôn bên em mọi nơi, những lúc nào tình cũng mãi. I'm ready for your love, love. Ooh, la 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 la. Ooh, la la la. Quá xa vời, ngày thân thức trong đời, trao cho nhau những lời hẹn ước. Từ vào vai anh là chẳng còn chỉ là sợ,